Hello and welcome to this episode of Creating with Howcraft. My name is Denise Yesback-Moore with howcraftcollection.com. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create my Harmony knotted bracelet. The tools and supplies you will need to create this bracelet are wire cutters, round nose pliers, 3-ply wax linen cording. We're going to use 4 lengths. Each one is 29 inches. An assortment of Bead Gallery beads. These are all wood beads from the Philippines. A medium-sized lobster clasp and an 8mm jump ring. A complete list of the jewelry making supplies and beads, along with printable PDF instructions, can be found on howcraftcollection.com. Search Harmony Bracelet. We are going to start out by cutting 4 lengths of 29-inch cording. The cording is 3-ply. The ply refers to how many strands are in the wax linen cording. So if it's 3-ply, it has 3 strands. If it's 7-ply, it has 7 strands. The smaller the ply, the thinner the cording. We're going to move down about 1.5 inches, and we're going to form an overhand knot. And we're just going to move that knot down, and we're going to pull it tight. We're going to come over to the other end, and we're going to make a little needle. Wax linen cording is waxy, so it makes it easy to string our beads. Now we're going to pick up a white wood rondell. This one is 10 to 11 millimeters. We're just going to string that down to the end. And we're going to form another overhand knot. Holding the knot with this hand from the back, I'm just going to move that knot down. Push it down and make sure it's nice and tight. Next, we're going to pick up our 8mm jump ring. We're going to come over to the other end. We're just going to string that jump ring. We're going to move it down to the other side, about 1/4 of an inch. And now we're going to form another overhand knot, and we're just going to move that knot down, and we're pulling it tight. And what we have just created is the beginning of this side of the bracelet. We're going to come back in and we're going to form another overhand knot, but we're not placing this knot around the jump ring. We're just going to push that knot down so it's right up against it. And then we're going to pull it tight. We're going to pick up our black wood rondell. It's about 10 to 11 millimeters. We're going to bring that down. Form our overhand knot, and then we're just going to move the knot down so it's right up against the other bead, the side of the bead. Next, we're going to pick up another wood rondell. We're just going to string that bead down. Make sure it's nice and tight up against the previous knot. We're going to form our overhand knot now. And we are just moving that knot down with our fingers, pushing it down, coming to the other side. We're going to pick up a 15mm Philippine wood swirl bead. We're stringing that onto the strand, making sure it's nice and tight. We're going to form our overhand knot, moving the knot down so it's right up against the bead. Push that knot down, coming over to the other side. We're going to string 4 15mm Philippine wood black rondelles. Move that out of the way. Bring it down. Making sure that all the beads are nice and tight. We're going to form our overhand knot. I'm holding all the beads together so they stay tight. We're gently moving the knot down, push it down so it's nice and tight, and you can see that our bracelet is starting to form. Next, we're going to pick up our 15mm blackwood swirl bead. We're going to slide that down, pushing it nice and tight. We're going to form our overhand knot, holding the bead, moving the knot down so it's right up against the wood bead. Come back around. We're going to pick up a small white wood rondelle, moving it down, forming our overhand knot, holding the rondelle with your finger so that it doesn't move, and then we're just moving the knot down, push it down, make sure it's nice and tight. Okay, now we're going to pick up our larger blackwood rondelle. We're holding the rondelle down. We're going to form our overhand knot. We're just moving the knot down. Push it down with our finger. Stringing our small white wood rondelle. Form our overhand knot. We're just moving the knot down. Now we're going to pick up our black melon bead. We're going to string that down. Form our overhand knot. We're going to hold the bead with our fingers so that it stays in place. We're just moving the knot down, pull it tight. We have our white wood rondell. This is a larger one. Forming our overhand knot. Holding the rondell with our fingers. We're just moving that knot down. We're going to pick up another swirl bead, string that bead, hold it with your fingers. We're going to form our overhand knot, and we're just moving that knot down right next to the bead, and then we're pulling it tight. Now we have this carved wood eggshell white twist melon. I love the shape of these beads. We strung that bead on, forming our overhand knot, and now we are moving the knot down so it's right up against that bead. Make our needle. We're going to string these 15mm black rondells. We're going to string 3. We're going to move our rondelles down, holding them with my fingers. We're going to form our overhand knot. Pushing that down so it's nice and tight. Now we're going to pick up our wood black base with this dot pattern. And we strung that bead down to the previous knot. We are forming our overhand knot. I'm holding that bead, and we're moving our knot down. Now we have our small white rondell. Back over. Form our overhand knot. And then we're just moving the knot down, and we are going to pull it tight. It's time to attach our lobster clasp, so we're just going to string the clasp down. And what I like to do is try to form this knot over the previous knot. So I'm holding the clasp back here, and I'm just moving the knot so it goes right over the previous knot. We're going to move down about approximately 1/4 of an inch. That's where we want our ending dangle knot to be. We're going to pull that tight. And then we're going to come back over, pick up our last black rondell bead, form our overhand knot, hold that rondell, move the knot down, pull it tight, and now we're just going to trim that end, and then let's come back over and check out this end. It needs to be trimmed a little bit. So we're gonna trim that end. Now I'm going to fray the ends of these cords. You can leave them the way they are, but I just use my round nose pliers and I just come back in to the end. Sometimes there we go. You just kind of go through and fray the ends. So that one's frayed. Gonna come over to the other side. We're just separating these cords. As you can see, there's 3. Remember, I was talking about 3-ply at the beginning of the video. When I fray the ends, you can see that there's 3 strands in each cord. So we're just going to come back in. Fray. There's one back here. And fray the ends. And there you have it, how to create my Harmony wood bracelet. On this one, I put knots between the larger rondelles. On this one, I did not put the knots. It gives it a little bit of a different look. So I wanted to show you the difference and how placing the knots in between makes a different look. If you are watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe at Howcraft USA. Follow us on Instagram at Howcraft Collection Beads. Be sure to visit howcraftcollection.com for more inspirational DIY projects and for all your jewelry making needs. Each week, howcraftcollection.com adds new beads to the website and features a fabulous new sale. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.